Hey, Angelo.
Hey Sarah,
Hey, Lucy.
I'm writing you a letter.
Sorry you can't say anything in response, but time is a fickle son of a bitch. Doesn't go the other way around. Sorry.
I'm writing you from 2020, and the world's a little bleak. It'll take you a while before you can finally admit that to yourself, but it is.
God, when I say that, it sounds fake. Like a scene from Back to the Future or something.
I'm writing to you from 2020 in the middle of a pandemic. Sounds post apocalyptic or hokey.
We've had a string of good years, though, really come into our own. This year's been tough on a global level, and it's maybe finally catching up to us. I guess the good luck of good years was bound to run out sometime. Funny thing is, even though the world's so shitty, I'm still kind of happy. Well, that's your gift. You find happiness and kindness and love everywhere. And yes, you're a sap. And yes, you don't know how you feel about it. But own it. Even if you're always second guessing it, try not to let your insecurities take over you. I'm working on that too, but please, for the love of God, work on it sooner. For the both of us. What's going on in your life?
What are you afraid of right now? I know the spider thing. That never goes away. Trust me, I really tried with that one. Really, really tried. What else are you scared of? Why are you scared?
Maybe you're about to leave Bangkok and you're singing Leaving on a Jet Plane to yourself over and over again. You know, the last time I was home, I found the going away book your friends made. And I gotta say, you had some great friends there. Maybe you're starting high school in Indonesia and you're worrying that you won't find your footing. Truth is, you'll never quite find it, but that's the way things go sometimes.
Things move fast. I know. I know you're trying to keep up all the time. Be an asset. It's good. You're trying really hard. But you're not obligated to let the world run over you to prove your worth. You're kind, yes, but you are so much more than that. You are lonely and angry.
You are an angry girl, and you will grow into an angry woman, so let yourself be angry. There's a lot to be angry about. Go scream off a bridge by the rodeo grounds. Throw rocks at other rocks. Run until you can't breathe. Learn to throw a punch. Practice your archery at something that makes a bigger mess when you hit it. Do not hurt yourself or others, but get to know your anger. Examine it from every angle. Figure out where it comes from. Explain it in detail or writing to someone you trust. I'm not going to tell you who those people are either. You'll get slightly better at figuring that out. Never great, but definitely better. Then do your best to resolve it. Don't let your anger be a stranger who also occupies your body, and don't rely on it to fuel your art. Give it the space it needs, and then find a way to let it go. This will be something that we're likely going to be working on our entire life.
In senior years, Stacy's going to tell you that all the girls think you could be one of the hottest guys in school if you were more confident. Maybe that'll give you the confidence you need. But that journey's one I'm still on. And you'll learn to stand tall. You'll figure out how to take up space. Like, I know you think the world is out to get you, that they're talking about you behind your back, but guess what? Fuck them. People don't always have ulterior motives. Maybe they actually want to be your friend. And so what? If they're talking to you for some other reason so they can make fun of you afterwards, who cares? They're the ones being weird.
I know you have a TJ Detweiler complex. Fuck, you still have a TJ Detweiler complex. But try to understand that not everyone is going to like you.
I need you to know that it's not you. It's never you. Those girls aren't kind to you, but it's not because of you. It's because of something else, deep inside of them that you can't see. I know you walk around with an I don't care attitude, but it's okay for your feelings to be hurt. The yearbook thing was ruthless. That team photo thing, also ruthless. The grade 8 prom dress thing, yeah, you know what I mean. But it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them.
And I'll tell you a secret. Ashley turns out to be an anarchist one day. So, when you're crying about some fucked up thing she said to you, just remember that people change. Sometimes they even apologize.
And hey, be a little stronger. You've got a lot of things buried under that carefully composed exterior. I know being yourself is really scary, but you know that burying these feelings inside you, that means that years down the road, you're still going to be digging in the dirt to find what you left under there so long ago. You're going to be hunting for those parts of you, and you're going to find some of them, but you've buried them loose, not in a box. And sometimes it's tough to know which bits are me and which bits are just plain rock and root. All right, I'm going to submit a formal request that maybe you think a little bit more about who you are right now and a little bit less about who you want to be. The want to be part, that's going to come anyway. But the right now part, that's getting flooded. You don't have to hide, kid.
Baby girl, I'm still trying to find you. I've heard stories about you, and I miss you. I miss your boldness and your tiny little audacity. You have an accident and it scares you. It really scares you. But you'll be okay, and you'll make it through. It's going to make you careful. It'll make you cautious. You won't party, you won't date, you won't take risks, and you'll be the perfect kid. But maybe you don't have to be.
That thing you're so afraid of, never measuring up to this imaginary ruler you've set for yourself, that's always going to be there. But you're going to get to know it well. You're going to know how far you can actually reach and how far you want to reach. That fear, that feeling of being misplaced, that dwelling on the island of lost toys, that's going to fade. You're going to stop feeling quite so alone eventually. You're going to make a group of friends who make you feel heard, who want to tell stories with you, who don't think you're boring. They're really going to love you. And you're really going to love them.
These are some of the choices I want you to make, not for me, but for your own sake. When Albie asks you to his birthday party in 7th grade, just go. No one's asking you out of pity or because you're the new kid. Don't join in making fun of Kaushik. Be his friend. No matter how many love letters you write Ethan, he's still a bit of a dick. Oh God, I cringe at that one every time. Tell Leah you want to break up. Don't be a dick. Ask Winnie out. Tell Julius no, because you deserve better. Also, that whole thing is a weird mess, so it's best avoided. Stay in touch with Bangkok. Please, please, please let people in. Most of all, embrace yourself.
Don't worry quite so much. I don't know. You're crushing real hard on that one girl you think is just pretty and cool and smart, and no, not everyone just thinks about her on a regular basis. Yeah, you're gonna find that out. I don't know. Maybe ask her out. Or hell, ask someone out. It's not the end of the world if they say no. Confronting feelings is way less intimidating than you think it's gonna be.
Your queer little self.
You turn out to be a big dyke. Do you know what that means yet? You'll figure it out.
You like girls. A lot. It's a good time. Oh, you're gonna change your pronouns. After 3 years of thinking about it, you're finally gonna go for it. And then you actually only go for it because you accidentally posted one of the carefully designed Instagram stories that you've been meaning to save and post later. Whoops. Well, anyway, it's not as scary as you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I hit a button, didn't I? Still a weird one. I'm still weird about it sometimes, even though I know I have no reason to be. I know that logically, but there are so many things about being queer that still make me uncomfortable. It's funny, I can still talk about the guys that I like, but talking about being queer, that still gives me pause. As I've been trying to get at, you're on the same journey I'm on.
I'll save you some time. Men are trash. Stay away from them. Okay, I'm kidding. Kind of. But I wish we were maybe more honest. Honest with ourselves about that feeling. You know the one? That little walnut that sits right behind your solar plexus, yet simultaneously in the pit of your stomach. Listen carefully to it, because it's telling you that something isn't quite right. Sex and love and intimacy shouldn't leave you with a little walnut of muck and uncertainty. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry. You'll read Tegan and Sarah's autobiography one day, and Tegan's going to word it perfectly.
You're going to get to know what love feels like. That's pretty exciting. It's really awesome and soul destroying when it's gone, but it's amazing. You know how all those movies say, I just knew? You know how you overthink and question all your emotions all the time, like every teenager ever? Well, this time, you're going to know. Like, really know. It's not going to be forever, but it's going to shape you. It's going to make you braver and more selfless, more selfish. You're not going to want to settle after this. I don't know that it'll ever happen, like, feel like that again, but I do know it was still worth it.
As I've been trying to get at, you're on the same journey I'm on. The world was set up against us as queer people. There's a fight we didn't ask to inherit that we have to fight. If not for ourselves, then for everyone else. For anyone else who might not be as strong or as aware or as privileged. Our struggle is their struggle. The good thing is here, where I am now and where you're going to be soon, people don't give a fuck. So I hope you can stop giving a fuck too.
The world's going to get better about it than where it is right now. It actually, well, the community around you, the one you build, the one you join, it's going to be really accepting. You're going to see representation of relationships on TV. You're going to see them through influencers on Instagram and Twitter and this thing called TikTok. Every time you see these, it's going to feel just like Willow and Tara from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You get it. Makes you feel seen, even if you don't know yet. And they can live a normal life, a full life, a good life. It's pretty great.
There are a lot of things I could tell you about how stories are going to end, about how efforts of yours are going to be fruitless, about people that will leave and things that won't work out the way you hoped they would, even after all of that incredibly meticulously detailed daydreaming. I could describe to you in detail every loss and every heartbreak, every time you embarrassed yourself, every terrible memory. I could help you avoid all of those things, or maybe just help you create new reasons to grieve in their absence. Conversely, I could also tell you about every triumph and success, every bit of praise that ever meant anything to you, and maybe those things would buoy you and make you feel vindicated and empowered, but I'm not going to do that either.
I can tell you that it's okay to be scared, but you have to acknowledge that fear before you can tackle it. Look, I still haven't even told Mom and Pa, because I know they love us, but I'm still scared. Maybe I'll find the courage someday, but I hope you know that it's okay to be scared. And it's okay to take your time, because it's not about anything or anyone but yourself. You don't owe it to anyone but you. With the bros, one of these days you're going to be in Bali, and it's going to be New Year's Eve, and you're going to be tripping on acid. Yeah, some drugs are also, they're not that bad. Just understand the risks and the safety measures that you have to have in place, and you'll be fine. But you're going to tell your brothers, I'm bi. And they won't even bat an eye. Look, I know Ahya has said some awful things about people like us, but people can and do change. He won't disown you, and I promise he doesn't beat you up. He won't even remember saying these things years down the road. Also, you're more than just your sexuality. For some people, it's a huge part of them, but it doesn't have to be for you. You really can just be yourself, whoever you decide to be.
There's going to come a time when people stop asking you what you want to be when you grow up. Maybe around 22 it stops. I remember people would always, we would always tell people that we just wanted to be happy when we grew up. And I'll tell you now, we are. We are happy. and that you were right. You were never cut out to be a kid. And you're so brilliantly happy as an adult. After first year, you're in the clear.
Life isn't going to feel like it started until you move to Canada.
You're going to move a lot. A lot. You'll have 24 homes in 23 years. You'll move to Canada and bury your barefoot years for years until you're ready. I think we'll be ready someday.
You're just living the warm-up. Warm-ups are important, though. Speaking of, be a more disciplined swimmer. You'll thank me later when you can barely do a 200 free without being winded.
You're going to get really good at swimming. You're going to do it to prove a point at first, but then you'll end up working in aquatics for 7 years. It'll teach you to love and trust and enjoy being in your body. So remember to do it because you love it and not just for work. And swim the 200-meter fly event your coach signs you up for, even though she hasn't taught you how to swim butterfly yet. It's going to be a great story later.
But I digress. When you come here, you're coming into your own. You're going to make friends who see you and love you for your whole being. You're going to lose someone you love, but she's with you always.
You lose someone you love and it's too soon. But now you smile every time you swim. Every single time you swim, because you know she's with you.
You're finally going to know who you are and embrace it wholeheartedly. But trust me, you're still working through some shit.
Trust that you are right. That's it. Certainly not about everything all of the time, but you're right about yourself, and you're allowed to trust in that rightness about yourself. Trust that you know what you want from life and just fucking do it, no matter how impractical it may seem and how many people tell you it seems impractical. Trust that the things you want to ask for are not unreasonable, especially when those things are simply for help. Trust that you know what your boundaries need to be and that you're not being inconsiderate for enforcing them. Trust that you know when to leave a situation, even if you might hurt someone's feelings on the way to your own safety. Trust in your sense of self, especially when it manifests as weird fashion choices and daisy chains and art. Trust your sense of justice, especially when it leads to learning and action. Trust that what you're feeling is real and valid and worthy of being honored and given space. Trust that everything you've ever hoped and dreamed and imagined about yourself is true, and that no friend or parent or teacher or small town gossip or boring heteronormative narrative knows that better than you do. Trust that even the things you suspected about yourself that scare you will come together in a way that is beautiful and honest and freeing. Stop putting your effort into proving other people wrong about you and focus instead on proving yourself right about you. Because you are right. And while those people's opinions matter little now, they'll matter even less when you're older.
Your years at UVic are going to be, in the most cliche way, the best of your life. Thank you, crush on Sam Chapman. Can you imagine if we'd gone to school on the East Coast in the States? Eesh. You're so incredibly lucky here. You're going to find what you're looking for and then some. I promise. So much good is coming your way. But I want to prep you for the flip side, because all flowers wilt and still waters run deep. I've been obsessed with that phrase a lot recently. Like, remember when you were in 5th grade and you were obsessed with soup? Yeah. Anyway, one day you'll wake up and you'll be yellow. Yeah, that's a lot to take in. So take a deep breath. Okay? Breathe out. You're breathing wrong, but don't worry. You've got 4 years of breathing school ahead of you. Yeah. Yeah, I know you know you're yellow, but the impact of that is still to come. You grew up as an Asian in Asia. Literally nothing special. In fact, you're an Asian guy who is often mistaken as mestizo. So you've been benefiting a lot from Eurocentric beauty standards. Start unlearning that sooner. Being Asian here, though, it's a whole nother ballgame. You're going to be so passionate about elevating Asian voices and stories because we haven't been heard. To be a queer Asian guy is even harder. Here's the thing. I wish I had more to offer you, but if I'm being honest, I'm still grappling with a lot of this shit myself. I won't pretend to have all the answers because I don't. I can only share with you where I am now and hope that it gives you something in return. I don't admit this to anyone, but sometimes I look at myself and I wonder if I'm unlovable. I've been told I'm too tall for an Asian, that I don't look Filipino. Dude, one guy we met actually believed that all Asians are bottoms. For real. Maybe avoid that guy altogether. You're gonna do things you regret because you don't think you deserve any better. But you're gonna come to understand yourself and figure out your self-worth. But it's a long-ass journey, so start now.
When you feel lost, remember the Beddington story. Even if it's not something that ever solidified into a memory, remember that when you were 2 years old and Rick was drunk and yelling at Mom, we marched right up to him and told him that you do not talk to our mummy like that. Remember that we are still that person, and that everything we grew out of came out of her. Our sense of self, our sense of justice, our pride, our bravery, our belief, we have always been that person. So when in doubt, ask, what would that girl do?
I heard this recently. You learn to value in yourself what you used to survive when you were young. Oof. Let that sink in. So let's think about the big I word. You know the one, independence. So it's grade 9, and you make a pact with yourself. And it goes like this. Don't talk about yourself. Don't ask for help. Don't reach out. Don't let anyone know a single thing about you because you're fundamentally alone. And I mean, yes, we're all technically fundamentally alone. But people do care. You'll spend the next decade trying to undo these rules you've imposed on yourself, myself, because they're habits now. And everyone in your life is asking you and begging you to take down these walls because they care, because they want to see you so badly.
You're still going to be digging in the dirt to find what you left under there so long ago.
You are going to let your pride and your sense of good manners get in the way of asking for help for what feels like an incurably long time. Ask for help, Sarah Jean. Just ask. Just do it. Ask Wesley and Micah for a ride home from the cabaret. Ask Mrs. Wolf for an extension on that ridiculous homework deadline. Ask Trevor to help you cleaning the change rooms. Ask Eric to pick you up from the train station. Ask your staff to help you with event setups. Ask Mom to trust and advocate for you. Tell your friends to stop bullying you into playing sports. That one is unrelated, but still important. You hate basketball. What are you doing? You cannot be all things to all people. And not asking people for any kind of help will slow you down for longer than it needs to. People want to help you. They would not offer if they did not want to. And if you ask, they're allowed to say no. No isn't a rejection of you, it's just a no. But you not asking is a petty rejection by inches. You don't actually want to do it all alone. You're not a better person for your independence. And what's more, no one is trying to take your independence from you. You don't accept a ride home from a coworker and magically turn into a 50s housewife. You are no less your own for letting people support you from time to time.
It's a fucked up world we live in, both IRL and in our heads. And there's so much that I've yet to address because I don't even know if I'm ready yet. Truth is, adults don't have all their shit together either. Sometimes I'm just as lost as you are. But what I can say is we are so blessed to have the people in our life who tell us how amazing we are, whose love I have never, ever second-guessed. Hold on to them tight. They will see you through.
Sink into your life as deeply as you can. Be present with people. Put your phone away. Make eye contact. Feel everything you're feeling as fully as you can, and do not let anyone take that from you. Do not let anyone silence your grief.
I'll tell you a secret. Your whole life has been big. You have the privilege of growing up in foreign countries, attending some of the best schools in the world, with a family that loves each other so much. Enjoy that more. Live in the present rather than living through montage because you're hella lucky, dude.
Know that we are going to have a difficult but beautiful start. I have no idea what happens beyond 27, but the first 27 have been more magic than misery. We travel and write and make art and fall in love and get hurt and find community over and over and learn and learn and learn.
Ding, 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 ding. Lightning round.
Keep watching those gay movies. They're so weird, so fun, and so gay.
You're allergic to red peppers.
You actually do like black pepper. You just need to use a finer grind.
Neon Trees was the soundtrack of your teen years, but they're also the soundtrack of your 20s.
Get mad. Yell at some people.
You're going to meet a woman named Helena, and she is going to change your whole life.
Moving to Indo was more traumatic than you thought, but you unpack that one later.
Find a little boldness, a nice bright splash of color across the days of the future.
Dad doesn't come to your graduation. Any of them.
Listen to Mom when she says stand up straight. Oh, and change your passwords.
No, actually, change your passwords.
Tumbly Wumbly just won't cut it.
Never stop thinking you're funny, because you're going to go to theater school and everyone's going to be funny, and it's so intimidating.
You're still not friends with Tegan and Sarah. I'm sorry.
Take the time off. If you're ever wondering if you should, yes, take it off.
You outgrew that weird love letter, unrequited love poetry phase, so that's good.
You're going to be published someday.
21 times, so keep writing.
Keep writing music.
Wear your seatbelt. It saves your life.
Be reckless.
Lastly, dude, go be a stud. Love the freaking skin you're in. What do you have to lose?
All of my love.
All of my love.
All of my love.
All of it.
Lucy.
SJ.
Teddy.